Happy Tuesday, crafty friends. Hello, Flosstube. It is Tuesday, April 21st, and it is snowing quite heavily outside today. Not a surprise. This is quite normal for Canada, though we had such a green winter that to have 3 or 4 different days where we see a sky full of snow in the month of April has been interesting. So fortunately, my magnolia is still mostly closed up. Those buds are staying in self-isolation for a little bit longer. Welcome back. My name is Caroline. These are at the moment daily crafty chats, little bits of positive interaction for your day. And before I get started, I just wanted to give an enormous thank you to everyone who left extremely kind words yesterday on the short memorial video for Nova Scotia. It was and continues to be an absolutely heartbreaking time, and truly to those in the very small, closely knit community of Nova Scotia. We're just so unbelievably sorry for your loss. Okay, I have a few things, giveaway and stuff to take care of, and then I'll show you what I worked on over the weekend. I had mentioned that I was going to be having a I don't have the Glendon Place stuff yet. It's coming. But the Postal Service is clearly, you know, a little bit slow. I have sent out some packages, I think at the beginning of last week or the end of even the week before that, to areas within Ontario that aren't that far away from me, and I don't think they've received their packages yet. So it's not surprising that coming all the way from Cheryl, Glendon Place, it's just taking a bit of extra time to get to me. So I will still have something, hopefully this week, to share with you that I think is going to be quite special from Glendon Place, but it won't be today. Fingers crossed that it comes in the post today, and maybe I'll be able to share it tomorrow. We had a big giveaway. It was the Because Monday giveaway, and it happened over in the Facebook group, and it was through the generosity of Gail Bellow, who messaged me a few weeks ago and said, you know, I'd really like to offer, you know, a little bit of kindness. I think we can all, you know, use a little bit of something to look forward to. Anything like this, you know, she said it would be just something she'd like to do. So we set it up as a Because Monday giveaway, and it was a $15 gift card to 123 Stitch. And this morning I had some helpers over in the Facebook group help me to, first of all, make sure that the 484 comments that were on the posting were all actually individual comments and not, you know, because it will also calculate in that number if someone leaves a comment on a comment. You know, if somebody says something and someone else comments on their comment, oh, me too, or that's so cool, or so on and so forth. So a couple of people helped out by checking through the messages to make sure that they were all unique comments, and then confirmed the number of total comments, and then I had Siri select a random number from, you know, in between 1 and 484. Siri selected the number. I then gave Gail that number. Gail counted down from oldest to newest in the comment field, and the comment was at 287. It's all logged into the Facebook group in the comments. Gail and I had a conversation, and so you can see the number that was chosen. I'm pretty sure it was 287. And so Gail counted down the comments, and the winner was Adina Selmanson, who has already been contacted, has already found out that she won, but just once again, congratulations, Adina. I think you're gonna have a little bit of fun with that. And thanks again to Gail for the generous donation. Okay, so that takes care of the Because Monday giveaway. I will not have one this week, but possibly next week. We shall see. I'm starting to think about the shop and possibly maybe doing a once a week, once every other week kind of shop update where I open the shop and I just have the bags that I've made in it available instead of having anything be pre-order. But still thinking about it. Okay, so I bet you're all wondering, did she finish Snowy Foxes from the Frosty Forest? Well, it's not on my lap frame. It's not on my lap frame anymore. So what do you think? I think I finished it. So here it is from the top. So I still have to finish this one. I still have to finish the middle and this one. And then, ta-da! I finished it. So yay me. Let's see if I can bring it in close enough there. So that was, there's Snowy Foxes right there in all its complete glory. Now I suspect you can probably see through the fabric and you can tell that I cheated a little bit with those individual snowflakes. And I did carry my thread. So I'll show you my backside there. You can see that I carried the thread. And you know what? As Michelle Benny would say, I'm not even mad about it. Because really, when this is, when you will, let's see, when you've got a backing against it, you're not gonna see it. You're not gonna be able to see those threads. And even if you could see them a teeny bit, they're white, right? They're white. And this is just gonna be a fun thing that I hang up at Christmas time. In fact, having it on my scroll rods makes me think of this. This is how I'd actually like to finish it. I'd like to maybe back it with some fabric and have a fabric border and then have it hung on a couple of dowels, just like this. One for weight at the bottom and one to hang it on the top. And then it's just gonna be a Christmas piece that I hang up. Winter piece, I should say, that I hang up throughout the season. And it's just so cute. Now, so clearly, as you can see from the spaces, now this really hardly took me any time at all. Once I, got down to it. As most of you, I'm sure, who stitch smaller pieces are probably like, yeah, you could have finished this years ago. I could have, yes. So, I have 3 left. Do I carry on and try to just finish this in the next couple of months? I don't know, because I was also, I started a stitch along with Melanie Watkins, Soulful off, it's hashtag Soulful Off the Grid Santa's Village Sal. Have I put a single stitch in it since we started the stitch along at the beginning of the year? Not a one, and it's already the end of April. So, I suspect Melanie hasn't put a stitch in hers either, so it's okay. We're in good company. But I know there are at least 1 or 2 other people who have joined in the stitch along and have already done more put together than Melanie and I put together. So the 3 other charts for the Frosty Forest are Snowy Reindeer, that one. And then the Frosty Forest, this is the one that goes right in the middle of the whole design. And once again, I did decide to not use the buttons. I had mentioned that I might be interested in selling the buttons. The buttons have now, they're gone. Well, they're not gone, but there is a person who they are now going to. So I appreciate all the people who messaged me about the buttons. Unfortunately, I only had 1 set. And in fact, I am missing 1 button of the 9. I only have 8. But they are now going towards someone. So again, that's the center one. And I will not be using the snowman button in the middle there. So I might stitch a small little snowman. We'll see when we get to it. And then this is the next one up from the Snowy Foxes that I just finished. But I might save this one for the end because it's the last house. And the houses are my favorite ones to stitch. And this is called Snow Girl's Cottage. So it's so sweet. I just love stitching those little houses. They're really fun. And the specialty colors, I don't have the one for the reindeer. The one for the reindeer is just in the trees here, and it's just those 2 trees, and it calls for shutter green. I don't think I have that, but that's okay. The green that I just used I used the over-dyed cotton for the trees in Snowy Foxes, and that was, I think, chives. And I have enough of that skein left. Probably what I'll do is I'll just use that for, I'll just use it for those 2 trees as well, instead of, you know, worrying about buying another full skein for just a couple of trees. And then the Frosty Forest one, again, this is a totally different green. The green in this one on these trees, so, you know, maybe I'll use this green instead. We'll see. This is baby spinach. Baby spinach. That's a nice color. Isn't that a nice green? Yeah, that's a nice green. Now I'm going to put that back before I misplace it. Okay, the 2 specialty colors in the house, the Snow Girl's Cottage, are Morning Glory and Maple Syrup. Maple Syrup is such a great brown. Isn't that a good brown? So that's Maple Syrup and, what did I say again? Morning Glory. I've used Morning Glory in I can see it. What's the name of the designer? The name of the stitch is How Does Your Garden Grow? And it was a freebie from, can't remember, but it was one with a bunch of specialty stitches, and it's absolutely beautiful. I'll show it to you tomorrow because it has specialty stitches is why I've been hesitant to pick it back up again. I got stuck on part number 6, which included the bullion stitch. I think I mentioned this, but it was probably like 2 years ago, because I still haven't touched it because those bullion stitches were, I just didn't want to do them. And so I decided for part 6 I would sub out just regular cross stitch for the bullion stitches, and then I just kind of rolled it up and put it into timeout. I don't know why. It's beautiful. I'll show you tomorrow, and I'll get the name of the designer, because it was a freebie 10 or 12 part series. It was called How Does Your Garden Grow? And I know that there are going to be stitchers out there, including my friends of Virtuti. I know Virtuti did it, and so if you can remember, I can see the front page of the chart, and I just can't remember the name. And anyways, how I got there was because Morning Glory was one of the colors that I have in that, and it's beautiful. It's all purples and all kinds of pretty things. So again, unless tomorrow is a Glendon Place day. If tomorrow is not Glendon Place day, then I'll share my How Does Your Garden Grow with you. Okay, so those are ready to go. I suspect that I will probably put it away for a while now, that I've had that little mini finish that I can celebrate. At least I finished something. The other thing that I worked on was Sarah's Afghan. So I think probably the best way for me to share my progress is by how much yarn I have left. So this is all I have left of the third skein that's going in, and here is there, so you can see it is growing. It's growing. It's filling the screen. Now where I have my progress keeper in here to prove that it's growing. There it is. It was on this corner. So there's my progress keeper right there, the coffee cup. And that's how much I've knit. So there are, how many rows are the pattern repeat? 10 rows, 11 rows. And the bottom half, so this is hard to show you, but the bottom half of the pattern has 3 cable rows that are really intensive, and the cable row, so 3 cable rows, and then 3 on the wrong side you purl. So those rows are easy. But on the cable row, it must take me 3 times as long to knit that row. I love doing them because I like, now that I cable without a cable needle, it's fun, but they really are time intensive. Also, funny thing, I have mentioned this before, but not for a while. You're supposed to slip the first couple of stitches of the border, and it creates this, the way that you do it, it creates this kind of I-cord, what's called an I-cord border on the edge. It's really a pretty edging. But I forgot to do it in this one spot on the one edge. You can you see it right there? It's like a big glaring error right there, this little bobble there that sticks out. Well, that's where I forgot to slip the stitches. And come on, you can focus. I'm gonna go boop there. Did it work? There we go, finally. Okay, so you can see there's that little bobble right there. That's where I knit it instead of slip it. So it creates that break, it creates this break in this really beautiful I-cord border. So I decided, instead of, at the time it was like 12 rows, instead of ripping back 12 rows to fix it, I'm going to make that the spot where I'm gonna look on Etsy, and I'm gonna purchase a handmade leather tab that says something like "Love Mom" or something like that, and I'm going to stitch it right over top of that spot. So, and that way Sarah will always be reminded that her mother is not always perfect. So it's coming, it's coming. I absolutely love it. I love working on it. For me, I love gray. I love knitting with, this is a Broco vintage, so it's an inexpensive, well, I mean relatively inexpensive yarn that holds up quite well, good for washing and drying. It's part wool, part acrylic, which means that the non-knitter who is receiving it, you don't have to worry about them potentially ruining it in the wash. It's easy care. But those cables are just magnificent, aren't they? I mean, if I do say so myself, it's rather a beautiful pattern. This is a Brooklyn tweed pattern called the Talon Throw, T-A-L-O-N, Talon Throw, and it's a lovely knit. And I have a feeling that once I'm finished this one, I will probably cast on another one for John and I. And then Nicholas is going to need an Afghan too, because by the time I finish this, Nicholas will be ready to move out of the house. Or married with kids. Who knows? It's all good. It's all good. That is it for me today. I will be checking my mailbox 3 or 4 times this afternoon, because I'm pretty excited. I am waiting for something from Glendon Place, but I also have something coming from Lila's Studio, and I have something, I may have ordered something from Trish at 3 Owl Threads, so hoping that comes soon too. And oh, one more thing. This weekend is the 24 hours of cross stitch. Anyone else out there planning on participating? Because I sure am. I plan on joining in on the Friday night, and then probably Friday afternoon, because I'm going to roll it into my Friday off the grid. So Friday late afternoon, I'm going to start mine. I do plan on sleeping, and then I'll pick back up again on Saturday morning, and then finish my my 24 hours at that point. But I'm kind of excited about it. I have so many projects that I want to work on right now. I want to get back to my Quaker Seasons of Friendship. I want to do Miss Bingley's Library. I really want, I put it on my stand this morning because I really want to put a few stitches in the, how handy is this? The Brenda Gervais Fruitful Labor. I really, really, really want to do a little bit more of this and get to some more of the words. So maybe I'll do that tonight. Yeah, that would be fun. And also, I'm still working on Savon. I put 3 or 4 colors in this morning with my morning coffee, and as always, it's a favorite stitch. Okay, so that's it. It's now lunchtime, and if I don't wrap this up, I'm going to have a very hungry 11, almost 12-year-old boy looking for something to eat loudly. Take care of yourselves, please. I wish you all the best today, and looking forward to seeing you again tomorrow. Happy stitching, and I'll see you tomorrow. Take care, everybody.